What's up, my people? Welcome back to Vertical Football. Welcome back to another episode of the Manchester United Fans Corner. I remember my myself, Shegun, and it's always a pleasure to be back here with you guys. Manchester United lost yesterday, and I understand the fact that it was a painful loss for a lot of fans. A lot of messages were sent to me as regards the loss. A lot of comments were made in our videos as regards the loss. And I was like, I think looking at those comments and looking at what people say, I just felt it was very, very important to dig deeper into certain things that I noticed, not just in the Everton game, but I've noticed in the past two games, but not just also the past two games. I was just talking about what I've noticed for 10 years at Manchester United. And I think I want to just look at that, analyze that, and then see the solutions to the challenges, right? What are the actual solutions to what we are currently in? And how can we push forward? So guys, let's jump right into it. I think rightfully so, it's a right thing for us to be emotional after the loss to Everton. I felt it was a disgraceful performance, which everybody sees and agrees with. But I think there are certain things that we need to analyze isolatedly, if I'm to use that. There are certain things we need to look at that game and analyze isolatedly. And I feel that there are some wrong points being brought out that I feel is just important to address, really. I think it's just important to address. The first one, which I have seen about yesterday's game, was people saying, honestly or dishonestly, saying United lost against Everton because of formation. That is 100% false. It's not true. It's not true. And I'm not going to be coming here to say it's not true, maybe because I'm trying to defend the manager's system or not. I've said it many times on this podcast, I don't care who the Manchester United manager is. Frankly, if you know me, I don't care. If you follow us for a long time, I don't care. My own is to come and do my job and tell you what I see and give you reasons why I'm saying this. If United decide to do away with the 3-4-3 system and bring a 4-3-3 system, I will do my own job here. But what I will not come and do is to tell you that you lost a game because of tactics, when actually it was not because of tactics. Yesterday's game was not lost because of tactics. And if you think it was lost because of tactics, then bring your facts. It wasn't lost because of tactics. It was lost, I said many times, it lost because of the mentality of the team. And I have said it many times on the podcast, there are many reasons why you lose football games. And that's the genius about good analysis. It's looking at a game that you lost or a game that you drew or even a game that you won and still be able to say, we won this, but these are the areas we need to improve upon. These are the areas we are not good at. Even when we drew, you say, okay, we've drawn this match. Okay, but this is what we need to improve upon. Even when we lose, to say, okay, so it's not just coming with a blanket reason and say, oh, whatever game we lose is because of the 3-4-3 system. Whatever game we win, oh, we won it. We may be not because of it. Not because of the 3-4-3 system, but we just lost. It's not true. Let's stop this. Let's stop this. If next match we lose it because of the 3-4-3 system, I will be the same person to come and say, this one, we lost it because of the formation. We didn't lose yesterday because of the 3-4-3. Let's face the real issues. Let's face the real issues. We did not lose yesterday's game because Ruben Amorim was our manager. Yes, he has a blame, which I'm going to talk about. He has a blame. And I think I will say that in fact of who is responsible for the mentality of the team? The manager. Who is responsible for understanding the emotional and mental button of his team? The manager. But yesterday's game, in my own view, is what I've seen for 10 years in Manchester United. Manchester United as a team doesn't know how to take advantages or use advantages. How many times in our era have we come to a position where we say, if we win this our next game, we will move from this place to top 4, or we will move from here to first. And then the game we are saying that if we win, we come. And when that game comes, we lose it woefully. It might even be against a team that is not good. We will just say, if you can just win, these people are not that okay. If you can just win them, will we just get to top 4, or we'll get to first, or we'll get to second? And how many times have we seen that over the years? That when that game actually now come and we play, they beat us woefully. The ability to make use of advantages is not in our blood. It has not been there for 10 years. So in as much as Ruben Amorim has blame, because he's the current Manchester United manager, is responsible for understanding the mental button and the emotional button of his team. He has to know it, which I'm going to analyze further. But this is a trend I have seen over the years. United doesn't take advantages. When everybody loses and you expect United to win, they will also lose. It's our blood. That's for 10 years, 10 plus years. That's what we have been doing. So we are coming there. We're going to come there. We're going to talk a lot about that. But I feel I've seen a lot of things. I feel they are doing a lot of disservice. Yesterday's game, majorly, not all, but majorly was lost because of the mentality. And you have seen this repeat itself many years, or 10 years plus. We have seen it. Majorly it was mental. Majorly it was mental. And so we're going to address that also. Now, another thing I've seen before I start addressing the issues is the fact that people are beginning to call out the names of players. And I'm not against that because I do that also. So I'm not against that. But we must also be fair at the players we call out. Calling out Lamens after yesterday's game is unfair. In my own opinion, it's unfair, and it really, I don't know where that came from. Oh, he should have saved that ball. Hey, I think if that's the phrase you are using, then we can use that same phrase for every goalkeeper in the league. Because there are also games in this season that Lamens saves balls for us. So I'm not trying to justify Lamens, but I think to start calling out Lamens at this stage, it's not nice. It's not nice. You can call out Dogu. Dogu has had his own time, right? Dogu has had his own time. And sometimes when you look at the way Dogu plays, he's mindless. Playing, as I said in the 5 things, he plays like he doesn't want to even play. And something must be done to him mentally. That one aside, I believe he has the talent to succeed in this club. But I believe it needs to be handled mentally. And I think that's what I was talking about Ruben Amorim further. It needs to be handled. It needs to be handled. And you can talk about Bruno Fernandes. Yesterday's mindless passing, which I also analyzed, which I've also complained about. You can talk about that thing. But to come for Lamens, we will not agree. We will not take that. And I think people should not do that. I think people should not do that. To now start saying that he has been doing something. No. You should have said it then. Don't say it now. Don't say it. And that's the funny thing. You should have been saying it then. Don't say it now. I feel don't criticize that guy. And and it's not being emotional. But really, it's having an overview of his performances. Yes, they are part of his game he needs to improve upon. You understand that? But don't come for, was it even a bad game he had yesterday? Really? You can, he should have punched the ball, but he can't touch the ball. And maybe his hand is not as strong as it should be. We can talk about that. But to now start coming for him, that there are question marks about him, you no need. You don't try, you no need. You just talk about other things. Don't talk about. There are some things we should not talk about. That's what you should not talk about. That guy is not someone we should. It's not someone we should start sticking our teeth in and start criticizing. You don't need it. So, other things I've seen. Why did Amorim start Zegzi? The fact is, Zegzi started yesterday's game because of injuries. There's a certain points that you should know now. You should know. Zegzi started yesterday's game because of injuries. Tesco is injured. Kuma got last-minute injury to the game. Last few days injury to the game. If Kuma was available, Zegzi won't start. And Zegzi himself was woeful yesterday because I also have analyzed in the weekend preview. Yesterday's game was not the kind of game for Zegzi. And it showed that it wasn't the kind of game for Zegzi. The kind of way we can use to win that Everton side, I did not see Zegzi in there. In terms of, we needed speed, fast attack, speedy attack. Zegzi is not, can't give us that. That yesterday. So it wasn't a game. The nature of the game was not a nature of the game that I saw Zegzi in. But I understand that it was a circumstantial issue. He had to play somebody up front. And funny enough, you can't win with such analysis in the sense of, if he had started Messi Mount and we lost, they will say, why didn't you start Zegzi? Now he started Zegzi, say, why did he start Zegzi? I know we are emotional, but also let's try to understand how things are going. Let's try to understand how things are going. So, guys, I feel, let me talk about the advantages. United has not been a team that has taken advantages for, as far as I know, 10 plus years. And I think it's beginning to show that the mentality of this side is very, very poor. More proofs to show you that the mentality of this team is very, very poor. As I said, first of all, when you see in our history, games that people expect us to win, to push up, we always lose it. I don't think there's any game like that we had the opportunity to, let's win this and we're in top 4, let's win this, we are second, let's win this and we're top table. Since after Sir Alex Ferguson, we always lose it, no matter the opponent. And most times, those games will come against very low opponents, we lose it. Another point about this Manchester United side over the past 10 plus years, which we need to look at the solution to those problems, is the fact that whenever we are playing an opponent where people say, this opponent will go wound Man U, this opponent will wound us, we always perform. We always play. When the whole world is against us, we always play. But if there's a game they say, this game, Man U go win now, that's the game we lose. It's mental. It's mental. And I think the manager has to solve this. I'm calling out Ruben Amorim. Not for any tactical stuff, but the mental stuff. And I will offer solutions. He needs to solve this. He needs to solve this. So we have not been a team that took care of advantages. We are, and this season, the mental issues, as I've said many times, is the fact that we are not sharp from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. It's sad. We choose where we want to play. And yesterday's game, the moment we wanted to play, there was no way for us. We choose. We pick and choose. How can you explain to me against Tottenham? Right? Tottenham scored, I think, 91 minutes. And all of a sudden, we just had the mental push to score back at 94, 95 minutes. So where was that intensity before they scored us the second goal? Where was that intensity? Right? Where was that intensity? Where was that drive? And you see this season, I can mention a lot of games. Nottingham Forest, it happened that same way. Until when they scored us 2 before we came back. It happened even against Burnley. There was one game, the one against Burnley was even very, very important. How that Burnley scored us. Immediately Burnley scored us, right? That we did pass 1, pass 2, and we went. Immediately, Dalo to Mbemu, we scored. But before they scored us, it was as if it was difficult for us to score. But when they now scored us, something just happened. We just became good all of a sudden and we scored back. There are mental issues. I can mention over 5 games this season alone where that has showed. Even against Brighton. That mentality. It's not tactical. There are some things you watch in football, you say, this is not tactical. It's mental. It's mental. Now, let's talk about the way forward, because our podcast is not just a podcast where we come and just complain. It's a podcast where we try to look at solutions. First of all, Ruben Amorim. As I said, I'm calling him out. Looking at the life and the career of people like Jose Mourinho, Sir Alex Ferguson, even Pep Guardiola. As a manager, you are not just teaching your team how to play within your tactical system. You are not just teaching your team how to win games, how to control games, how to manage games, in all those tactical aspects of the game. You are not just teaching them that. You're also teaching and training a 25-man squad or 26-man squad of individuals. And one of the things you learn about your players, apart from their profiles, is that you learn what makes them tick mentally and otherwise. That's your job as a manager. So I have seen things about Sir Alex Ferguson, when Sir Alex Ferguson will say things like, or Ferdinand will say things like, during their days, Sir Alex Ferguson knew what to do to a particular player to steer that player up. Ruben Amorim should know what to do to individuals to steer them up. Try to get to know them. It's a year already. And I believe in a whole year of working with them through different moments, you should start learning what you can use to touch them. You know? That emotional button, that mental button that will make them pop up. I don't. You should not leave everything to chance, Ruben Amorim. And I think many times he leaves it to chance. Let's see what happens. I've done the tactical work. Yeah. But the fact is, football is not just only tactical. I've said it before. Football is also mental. And the best teams are teams that are good tactically and also good mentally. Nobody wins a league by just being good tactically. Nobody does it. you have to also have the mental fortitude to actually go there. See Arsenal Football Club now. See their fight. I know, yes, after a number of years with Arteta, see the game against Tottenham Hotspur. See the intensity from the beginning to the end. They knew they had to get a job done. People have lost points. They knew they had to get a job done, and they were mentally fixed to get a job done. United needs to grow to that level. And it's something that comes with time. But we have to call it out now. Get to that level. When you have a job to do it. The job yesterday was to win the game. As with many times over the years, and you don't actually get to do that job. We need to get to do our jobs. So he needs to understand, what can I do as a coach to Patrick Dogu? There's a talent there. And anytime I watch Dogu, I see the talent there. But many times in his game, I don't see the mentality there. I see sometimes I don't really care, Joe. I see it in his game. And many times, even when he's brought in as a sub, before he acclimatizes to the tempo of the game, it takes time. So what can I do as a manager to make him fired up when he's getting in? What can I do as a manager to make him fired up from the first minutes? Like yesterday's game, to make him fired up from the first minute and give a good performance. I need to understand the mental button of each player and also the mental button of my team as a whole. What is the message being passed in the dressing room before the Everton game? You have to understand our problem. We don't take advantages of opportunities. That is a United problem. When there's an advantage, we can't take advantage of it. So yesterday's game, when you are playing Everton, what are you telling them in the dressing room? And it looks like this our team does well when we are the underdog. And that's true. Oh, Liverpool will beat us. We beat Liverpool. Oh, Brighton are very, very terrible team. They go wound us. Intensity. We win Brighton. Came to Nottingham Forest. And Nottingham Forest are down. United should be able to win them. Draw. Tottenham not to go like that. United should win them. Draw. Everton now walk over. We lose. So we like the underdog mentality. Ruben Amorim find a way to capitalize on that underdog mentality. Tell them things. People think you will lose this Everton game. Everton, this is what Everton has done to other teams. Do you want them to do that the same to you? Find a way. I understand you are a football coach, but the fact is, you're also a mental coach. Football coaches are mental coaches. Get into the head of your team and know how to spark the button. Alex Ferguson did that. Pep does that. Mourinho did that and still does it. Get into the head of your team. So the way forward for United is, we have to start well, we have to continue playing well, and we have to end well. I think we have to start well. We have some games we started well. Brighton was that game. Liverpool was that game. Which other game did we start well again? There are some games Arsenal definitely we started well, even though we didn't win that game. There are some games we start well. And there are some games also we started well but didn't continue well. Right? So that's 3 levels. Start well. The manager needs to get his team fired up mentally to start well. Then within the game, on the touchline, the manager needs to also know how to spark them up also during the game to make them to continue to play well. And then finally, when it's the game, maybe you are winning, you are feeling relaxed like against Brighton, you still have to spark them to finish well. And I think these are the work that Ruben Amorim needs to do to the mental state of this team. I understand that this is a team at this level. This is what you should see as a team at this level. I understand that. I've watched a lot of football to understand when building its side, the mentality sometimes is not there. And sometimes a team starts from being underdogs. They love being underdog mentally. Capitalize on that, but get them to start well, to continue playing well, and to get it till your team becomes more and more confident, to become champion. So guys, this is my opinion about the current state of Manchester United, about the mental issue at the club. So guys, as usual, I've given my analysis. What do you think about it? Do you think I was wrong? Do you think I was right? We are all here to learn. Give me your opinions in the comment section. Thank you for always sticking with us. Thank you for your love, your concern, your messages. We truly appreciate you. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and most importantly, don't forget to share. Until I see you next time. Bye.